Okay, back in Dreamweaver, talking about how to basically start adding in content and stuff. We talked about creating hyperlinks and kind of attaching a style sheet, cascading style sheet. What I want to do in this video is I want to basically create a new one here and just show you basically how to start inserting some of this stuff up here, like a header, how to start adding an ID to these things so you can start manipulating them over here in the project or the properties tab for the CSS style. So right now I have a blank document. It's all great. I am going to create a new, I'm going to save this as my index. And I'm going to create a new CSS sheet just so I don't have to create one in a minute, or so I can physically see it in here and then attach it. So I'm going to save this as the CSS Monday style .css. I'll go ahead and attach this thing. Go to sources. That way, if I do anything over here, it will exist here. I'm not really gonna do a lot of manipulating to the CSS right now. I will, but it'll be on the index page. So I'm gonna go ahead and attach it. Everything. Yeah. Now you got your link down here. So first thing I want to do is I want to add a. We talked about. I think I mentioned tables. If you want to get used to kind of laying stuff out in Dreamweaver, it's not really recommended nowadays, but it's good if you're just playing around and you want to kind of like learn how to insert things and like see the code down here. Like if you just insert a table here, you'll come up with your properties of how you want it. Like it's going to be 400 pixels, there'll be a border thickness of 4. You click OK. Now you can take and format this. Go to this table here, there. If you click inside the box, you can center it. You can kind of actually move this thing up and kind of start inserting content here. You can select these and start merging the cells. If you wanted like a banner up here, then you want your main content, maybe some menu down here. You can do that. It's pretty fun. I'm not going to spend any time on that though. Make sure, oh, I gotta link my thing back. I undid it. Maybe I can redo it. Yep. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to add a header in here. I'm going to go to my live view. Yeah. So I can see my little taglines. So if you don't see that, there's the design and the live. So I'm going to attach my header. Insert header. Class and ID. What are these two things? Your class basically is going to like control the style of how it's going to run throughout, and your ID basically is just going to handle that element. So if I'm just creating one header and I want that ID to be that, or want those applications I put to it to apply just to that element, I'll just create an ID. So this is going to be my header. So I'm just going to call it header. And I want to create a new CSS rule. So choose where your rule will be defined. Yeah, Monday style, because I already have one. If you hadn't created one yet, it will have you create a new style sheet or just on the document itself. But I'm going to apply all the, just because I like to keep my code clean in the HTML page. So anything I apply to it will be in the Monday style. But I'm going to be adding an image in it. So, I'm going to go OK. This is where you can adjust like the color and stuff of it. The image, let's put a color on there just so you can see. I'll just kind of offset a little bit. Maybe like a gray. Okay. So background color in the header. That's what the header background color is. All of it's linked to it. The header ID, header content for header goes here. Jeremy site. So now if you go over here, it's already got a class over here because we made one for it. So basically, if you're to select that and kind of go over to your selectors over here in your designer, you can basically kind of go over and start manipulating with these properties over here. It's weird, it's got two hashtags on. I guess it was already going to hashtag whenever I created it. I'm kind of wondering why. Hope that doesn't mess things up. I don't think it will. So that's my header. You can kind of go over here and maybe, I don't know why the background, maybe it just can't see it very well. Oh, okay. Oh, in the design view. It's there. I'm just in the live view. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to change this because I'm going to actually put an image in here. And what I did is I just went into Photoshop and created like a banner logo. Not that. That's my recording thing. Just, I created a 1920 1080, then I cropped it. And I think it's like 1922 80 something is the image. You can get into, slicing up stuff and exporting, say for web legacy, but that's probably for another talk. Seeing the resolution, because you want the smallest, nicest resolution on these web pages, honestly, because they'll just take forever to load if you start linking them in. So, but for this purpose, I just created basically an image, and I'm gonna drop it in here. I'm gonna kind of select in here. I'm going to nest it in. I don't want it before or after the tag. I want it inside the tag, so I'm just going to nest it in there. This is Jeremy's site. So now we have this site, this image that spans really far. Because if you preview it, see it goes all this way right here, and I don't really want it going that whole way. And it doesn't scale or anything if you close it. Got to get rid of this right here. So I'll just go in the code right here and do that. That takes care of that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a tag for this image. So, and that's why I like working in the live view, is because you got your tag right here and you can just create a class for it right now, or an ID for it. So I'm just going to hashtag logo or hashtag banner. And should have created. Okay, well, I guess it didn't. I don't know why it's like. Plus. Oh, okay. I'm getting my IDs mixed up over here. I have it. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to change it because I like banner better. No hashtag. I think I was screwing up by typing in the hashtag. Then hit my plus over here. That's selected where it's going to add it to, so I can manipulate it, or I can add properties to it. So now, cool, it added it over here. So if you noticed over here in your selector now, if I hit my header, I'm actually going to be affecting the property, the style of the header. But if I just want to affect the property of the banner, select that now. So that becomes live. So the first thing you want to do is go to the display and turn it to block, because that will allow it to kind of scale in, I believe. I'm quite sure. And then you can kind of go down here and you can look at your margin, your padding. This basically controls like the left and right, you know, where it's centered at. You want to center it. And I'm going to go to my margin. I'm going to type in auto. You could type 15 pixels on one, 100% or 50% on one side, 50%, 20%. This banner is about the size I want it to be, but I'm going to squeeze it in a little bit because I want to get a percent here. 0% now. So you see the way it's kind of locked into this here block now. So if I preview that, it's centered, but obviously, you know, it's squeezed in, but it looks straight and it's up there, which is good. Ooh, excuse me. Let me try 95 pixels. Yeah, 95 looks pretty good. Test this right here. Yeah, and there we go. So that's a perfectly centered, and the good thing about this, since it's on the block, is like if you kind of scale it, you know, block actually kind of like scales in with it. So, and then you know you could kind of repeat this process with like content with the content below, or like a navigation bar, which we'll kind of start moving into that, doing that. But yeah, that's the way to kind of add like a top banner. If you wanted to stretch across the entire thing, probably go 100%. I'm not sure if it's gonna. Stretches, yeah. There's a little side right there, which is that's just like the pixelation of the actual browser. But I would suggest, you know, this is the way I kind of do it. I just add images in here and there. Like if I try to like get the background, you could probably get the background of the actual page to kind of match this. Um, or if you have an image background to kind of like take the whole image background. We talked about that with creating the new sites, the way I created that gradient background with the other site, or get it to match it. Add the style to this HTML style. Let me see if I can do that real quick. Background, header. That was they do my I want my color to be color of this right here. So I'm going to use this color picker right here. Cut and paste this, cut and copy this. See if this works. Oh, failed. I think I'm missing a, yep. Maybe this would go up top here for the display. Okay, well, I'll figure that out. I'll get with it on the next one. So, okay, well, yeah, that's how to start adding that image. And you know, it's kind of trial and error sometimes when it comes to the sizing, getting it right. But it's if you add a tag to it, that's the biggest thing. Add an ID to it. You can go up and select the ID from over here and start messing around with the padding, the margin. You can retype the resolution here. I wouldn't really probably mess with that. So because it obviously stretch or unsize it correctly. So, but that is in a nutshell how to start adding in a banner to your header, and it's done basically with the same. You know, you got a footer too, so your footer is always going to be below your content section. All these right here, your main content things to insert. So, okay, thanks for watching, and we'll continue next time.